Class.
Namaste Bhagini.
Namaste, namaste.
Namaste Bhagini.
BharaTiyah, namaste. So, okay. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha, Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba Tvamanusandadhami Bhagavad-gīte bhavatdveshinim. Namostute Vyasa-vishala-buddhe Phullaravindaayata-patra-netra Yena tvaya Bharata-taila-purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamayah Pradipaha Prapanna-parijataya Totra-vetraika-panaye Jnana-mudraya Krishnaya Geetamrita-duhe Namaha. Vasudeva-sutam Devam Kamsa-chanūramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Bhishma-drona-tata Jayadratha-jala Gandhara-nilotpala Shalya-grahavati Kripena-vahani Karnena Velakula Ashvathama-vikarna-ghora-makara Duryodhana-vartini Sotirna khalu Pandavairana-nadi Kaivartakah Keshavaha. Parasharyavachah sarojamamalam Geetarthagandhotkatam Nanakyanakakesaram Harikatha sambodhana bodhitam Loke sajjana shatpadairaharaha Pepiyamanam muda Bhuyat bharata pankajam Kalimala pradvamsina shreyase Mukam karoti vachalam Pangum langhayate girim yatkripatamaham vande paramanandamadhavam. Gita shastramidam punyam yah patet prayatah puman Vishno padamavapnoti bhayashoka vivarchitaha. Geetadhyayana-sheelasya pranayama-parasya cha naiva santi hi papani purvajanmakritani cha. Malanirmochanam pumsam jalasnanam dine dine Sakrit-geetam-bhasi snanam samsara-malanashanam. Geeta sugita kartavya kimanyai shastra-vistaraihi Ya swayam padmanabhasya mukha padmadvinisrita Bharatamrita sarvasvam Vishnor-vaktradvinisritam Geeta Gangodakam Pitva Punarjanmana Vidyate Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsaha Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Geetamritam Mahat. Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Geetameko Devo Devaki Putra Eva Eko Mantrastasya Namani Yani Karmapyekam Tasya Devasya Seva Shantakaram Bhujagashayana पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैः स्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः. Okay. So going back to our lesson, we have completed up until page number 104 in the last class. So today we are to start on page number 105. So we are doing Dvitiya Vibhakti. So the purpose of the Vibhaktis is for each word, we will know what role that word is playing in the sentence, what meaning it is offering to the complete meaning of the sentence. So that is the main purpose why and how we express that relation of that word to the meaning of the sentence is through this vibhakti, pratyayantas. So we use these suffixes along with the words that we use, and that will explicitly tell us the role that that word is playing in that sentence to offer, to contribute towards the complete meaning of the sentence. And the speciality about Samskritam and Indian languages is that these pratyayantas are embedded into the word, the suffixes. So no matter where the word is in the sentence, the meaning is still intact. The meaning of the complete sentence will still be intact. Whereas in languages such as English, it is always not the same. A very, very simple sentence which I might have already, given as an example is Rama killed Ravana, right? Rama killed Ravana. When I put Rama in the first place and Ravana in the third place, then the meaning is that Rama has killed Ravana. But now Rama and Ravana, they don't have any other words associated with it. So if I change the order, then the meaning of the sentence will also change. Ravana killed Rama. So the sentence changes. Meaning of the sentence changes. Whereas in Sanskritam or in any Indian language that I am aware of, I'm not aware of all the languages, so I don't know, but I'm trusting that because all Indian languages, the root of all the Indian languages is Sanskritam, it is the same in other languages also. So basically, Ramaha Ravanam Marayati, right? Ramaha, he is the Karta. So, Kartrikarakam, Prathama Vibhakti. So, Karta will always be in Prathama Vibhakti in Kartari Prayoga. Okay? You remember that there are three kinds of sentences. One is active voice, passive voice, impersonal voice. Kartari Prayoga, Karmani Prayoga, Bhave Prayoga. Right now we are doing Kartari Prayoga. So remember that. Back of the mind, you remember whatever rules I'm talking regarding Prathama Vibhakti or Kartrupadam or Karmapadam. These all apply when the sentence is in Kartari Prayoga. So the Kartrupadam Rama is in Prathama Vibhakti. Why? Because this sentence is in Kartari Prayoga. So Ramaha. Ravanam Marayati. Ramaha Marayati. Rama kills or killed. Is killing, kills. Marayati. It is in Vartamana Kalam. So Rama kills. Whom is Rama killing? Ravana. So the action of killing is being done on Ravana. So Ravana becomes the Karma Padam. So we have to put it in Dvitiya Vibhakti. So Ravanam it becomes. Now if I change the order of the words, Ravanam, Ramaha Marayati. Ramaha Marayati Ravanam. No matter how you change the order, the meaning is still intact. Why? Because you can clearly tell which is the karta based on the vibhakti and which word is the karma. So once you identify which word is the karta, he becomes the doer. So Ramaha, no matter where it is in the sentence, because it is in Prathama Vibhakti, we identify it as the Karta. So always it is Rama who is doing the action of killing. It will never be Ravana. Okay. So that is the main purpose of the Vibhaktis. And why this system came into existence? Because all our scriptures, most of our scriptures are in shloka form only, right? So in shloka, the poet needs that flexibility of arranging the words in different order. Why? Because he has to maintain the chandas. In whichever chandas he is writing that kavya, he need to maintain that chandas. And chandas has its own rules. So many aksharas per line, so many lines per pada, so many padas per shloka. There are so many rules for each chandas. There are so many kinds of chandas, and with each chandas, there are certain rules. So when a poet composes a kavya, he needs to pick a chandas, and then once he picks a chandas, then he has to stick to the rules, abide by the rules of the chandas. So he needs this flexibility of moving things around, moving the words around. So because of that, these vibhaktis are, the pratyayantas are embedded into the word, so that even though the word is moving around, the meaning will not change. But we need to know how to decode it, right? Now the poet has written in whichever order. So in that composing, because he has mixed around the words here and there, rearranged the words here and there, they are not in prose order. So for us to understand the shloka, we also need to go through the same way. So we need this identification of the vibhaktis and what role each word plays to contribute, like in the contribution of the meaning to the sentence, right? So we need to understand, we need to have the knowledge of the vibhaktis. Otherwise, we won't know. We know that Ravanam is in Dvitiya Vibhakti. But if you don't know what it means, what a word, when it is in Dvitiya Vibhakti, what it means, if you don't know, then you won't be able to contribute towards the meaning of the sentence much. You won't be able to comprehend the meaning much. So we need to also know when a word is in a certain Vibhakti, then how it is, how that meaning should be taken, because the same word can be in different vibhakti. Here Ramaha Ravanam Marayati. Sita Ramam Pashyati. Here Rama is used in Dvitiya Vibhakti. So the minute Rama is in Dvitiya Vibhakti, we will understand, okay, whatever action the Karta is doing is being done on Rama. So Rama is the Karma Padam, like that. So the same word can be used in different Vibhaktis, in different situations. So if we don't know the purpose of each vibhakti, how it is contributing towards the meaning of the sentence, then there is no point, right? We will not be able to understand the shloka or the sentence or whatever. So that is the reason vibhaktis are very, very important. And similarly, the kriya padani also, the verbs, the different tenses, Vartamana Kala, Bhuta Kala, Bhavishyat Kala, that also we need to be able to identify. So these both are really, really important. These are the life of any language, not only Samskritam. So here also, but here we have such an elaborate options, right? Options, or not options is not the right word. We have a very elaborate usage of the grammar, which is very specific. So everything, we have a way to express every single thing in Samskritam, right? So there is no ambiguity. That is the main reason why everything is handled so clearly. There is no ambiguity. That is the speciality of Sanskritam also. The reason why artificial intelligence scientists are looking at Sanskritam is only for that reason, because they need an unambiguous language. Why? Because in artificial intelligence, they are creating all these machines which have to perform certain commands based on certain instructions. If that instruction, whatever language they are using to give that instruction, if it does not have the different components to express unambiguously, then the machine will not understand if that instruction can imply two different things or three different things. How is the machine going to make a decision, right? To understand the intention of the person, whoever is giving that instruction. So they need a language. And when I say a language, a programming language, because artificial intelligence, you need a programming language. They need to design a programming language where there is no ambiguity. So the scientists were wondering how it is possible. That is when they studied this Panini's Ashtadhyayi, because they are aware that Panini's Ashtadhyayi is so well written that there is no ambiguity. Now, today in this time, we are thinking this about, like object-oriented programming, how efficient it is, and all that. Maybe it started like not right now, but at least like 2 or 3 decades ago, object-oriented programming has started, right? And that time we all thought it was like a big wonder, eighth wonder of the world or whatever. Oh, how can this be possible? Oh, it is so efficient. Oh, you don't have to repeat the same number of steps again and again. It's all given there. And we were amazed by that kind of programming language. But if you look at Panini's Ashtadhyayi, he has used this object-oriented programming back then itself in Ashtadhyayi. So there is no repetition of anything in Ashtadhyayi. So if he needs to repeat a certain command, it is written in such a way that, so even to understand Ashtadhyayi, you need to know how to read it. You simply cannot read it and understand it. There are some techniques used. So we need to understand those techniques so that we can read Ashtadhyayi and understand. So that is a big study in itself, the sutras. So if there is a component which is repeated in several sutras, it will be given in the first sutra, and then we have to, and then there will be so many sutras following it, by which we'll understand that, okay, for all these sutras, that word also will apply. So in the subsequent sutras, he will not repeat that same word again. It has to be taken from that previous sutra where it first occurred. For that, again, there is a technique. Now, Panini's sutras, that is why if we look at Panini's, just Panini's sutras, the Ashtadhyayi, we won't understand anything. So how do we know until which sutra that word has to be taken as being repetitive? For all that, that is the reason why Mahabhashyam has been written by Patanjali. Why? Because just by reading Panini's sutras, people like us cannot understand. Definitely we cannot understand. Not only us, there were even great scholars also were not able to understand without Panini's, without Patanjali's Mahabhashyam. So Patanjali has written Mahabhashyam so that Sanskrit scholars who are aspiring to understand Panini's Ashtadhyayi will, they can read and understand. So he has written Mahabhashyam, in which he has explained in detail the intention of Panini and how we have to read it, and for what are all the sutras we need to repeat, a certain step. There are so many techniques used, not just one or two. There are so many concepts also. So all that, like you will be amazed if you look into those concepts. Today's programming languages are nothing. All the concepts that we are using in programming languages have already been used Panini, so many thousands of years ago. That is the reason why, the artificial intelligence scientists are pursuing to see if there are even more techniques embedded in that Ashtadhyayi, which we are unaware of. So that if they uncover those, then they can implement the same in today's programming languages for more efficiency. So that is the kind of, greatness of Samskrita Vyakarana, specially written by Panini. Now, before Panini also, there are so many Vyakarana Granthas. But Panini's Ashtadhyayi has become so famous for these reasons, because the brevity, and then the techniques, and then there is all conditions. The Veda Vyakarana Vaidika Vyakarana and Laukika Vyakarana. Both are covered in Panini's Ashtadhyayi. Whereas in other Vyakarana Granthas, not both are covered. So that is another thing. So sometimes when you are going through certain shlokas, especially in the Mahabharata, you will see some prayogas which do not fit into Panini's Vyakarana. Why? Because those granthas have been written even before Panini. So there are some prayogas which are not covered in Panini's Vyakarana. So here again, what I have said might lead to a different meaning. What I mean to say is, there are Vyakarana Granthas before Panini, right? Vyakarana is there from the existence of, the when this Srishti has come into existence, right? Which is Anadi, right? But why only Panini's Vyakarana? So he has written it in such a detail that everybody is following that. And of course, there are rishis who have written granthas before Panini. And how did Panini? So Panini did not invent Samskrita Vyakarana. What he did was, he went through all the granthas that have already been written, right? And then he analyzed them. He analyzed them, and he has written this Ashtadhyayi of 4,000, approximately 4,000 sutras, so that people like us can understand how to use the Vyakarana to understand the granthas. If you simply read, if you are trying to understand a book which is written in a language that you don't know, you will not understand. You need some basic rules, how they are following, what rules they have for their grammar, when which word is used, which tense is used, when to represent what. Such rules we need to know. Only then we will be able to understand. So for us to understand, he has written that. But he has written it in such a way that this grouping is done. There is a lot of grouping, so that it will become easy. So how do you say that about grouping? When I say grouping, like in the Kriya Padani that we have studied, we have discussed this earlier also when we were doing the Kriya Padani. We have Kriya Padani which are following a pattern, and then we have these Vishesha Kriya Padani. Why? Because they are not fitting into the actual pattern, the regular pattern. Now, why this inconsistency? Is because Panini is not the one who created these rules. If he were the one who created the rules, he would have created everything uniformly. He only studied all the granthas and literature that was already there, and he found the patterns, and he grouped them, and he showed this pattern to us, so that we also will follow that pattern to identify. So once we see that pattern somewhere, we immediately identify, oh, this is this. So we need not study every single word to know the meaning of that word, or which tense it is, or what. If we know the pattern, all we have to do is, if we come across a new word, we will see into which pattern it is fitting. Depending on that, we'll determine if it is a Vartamana Kala Kriyapadam, if it is Parasmaipadi or Atmanepadi, if it is Bhutakala, if it is in Bhutakala, again, we have several kinds, which kind of Bhutakala it is. All this we'll know, right? Only because we are comparing it with the patterns that are there. So then there are some words which are not fitting into that pattern. But the majority of the words are fitting. So that pattern is given so that we know that most of the words are of this type. But then this is an easy method, right? Common thing and an exceptional case. General rule and an exceptional rule. Such concepts are very clearly seen in Panini's Ashtadhyayi. So in Mahabharatam and places, kavyas like that, you will see certain words which do not fit into the rules shown by Panini. There are very few such prayogas. So Panini did not handle them. We can say that he did not handle them. Why? Because they are so rarely used, maybe, or no matter how to show it, it may not fit into any of the case. So he just left some of those. So when you are going through any shlokas from the Mahabharata, you might come across certain forms of Kriya Padani which do not fit into the rules of Panini's Ashtadhyayi. Then we have to identify that as Arsha Prayoga, means used by rishis. That form is used by rishis who existed before Panini. So that is how we need to identify them. And as a special case, we have to put it aside. We just need to identify, because if we don't identify, we cannot put together the meaning. You know, there, say for example, there is a Kriya Padam which is in Prathama Purusha Bahuvachanam. And then there is no Kartrapadam which is in Prathama Purusha Bahuvachanam. So you will never be able to put together the meaning of that shloka unless you identify it as an Arsha Prayoga. So it should have been in Prathama Purusha Ekavachanam, but it is given as Bahuvachanam. But it still implies Ekavachanam only. So if we understand it that way, then we can put together the meaning of the shloka. Such things happen occasionally. The more you read, the more you come across such prayogas. It will be interesting also to see such prayogas. So, but you need to be aware that there are so many exceptional cases like that. So nothing is like fixed. Okay, there will always be an exceptional case. As and when the situation arises, we will handle that exceptional case. But until then, you just go with the basic rules. We all learn the basic rules. These are the cases that are most commonly covered. Occasionally, we might see a different application. For that, we need to pursue further why that prayoga is used, why is it used like that, in what cases it will be used, and such things. But what is covered in this book is the most common usage. So many times this is how we see. Occasionally there might be an exceptional case which we will have to learn as and when we come across such applications or usages. Okay, so coming back, Dvitiya Vibhakti we have done. And then, so I don't remember if I mentioned this in the previous class. So, Dvitiya Vibhakti, the common usage of Dvitiya Vibhakti is the Karma Padam of a Kartari Prayoga Vakya will be in Dvitiya Vibhakti all the time. Then there are other places where a word can be in Dvitiya Vibhakti, right? And but it is not the Karma Padam. That word is not the Karma Padam of the sentence, but still we put that word in Dvitiya Vibhakti because of certain reasons. We have certain rules when a word should be put in Dvitiya Vibhakti, even though it is not the Karma Padam. So such usage of Dvitiya Vibhakti is called Upapada Vibhakti. We call that Dvitiya Vibhakti, which is used when which is used on a word which is not the Karma Padam. We call that as Upapada Vibhakti. Not only for Dvitiya Vibhakti, such cases will be there for every Vibhakti. Okay, then we call that usage of that Vibhakti, that application of that Vibhakti is called Upapada Vibhakti. The usage, certain rules will be there. Because of that rule, we have to put that word in Dvitiya Vibhakti, not because it is the Karma Padam of the Vakyam. So there, Dvitiya Vibhakti is called Upapada Vibhakti. Why? Because that Upapada, actually, I said certain rules are there. More than rule, there is a word which will trigger the usage of Dvitiya Vibhakti. We will look at some examples and then you will understand. So basically, the words are Ubhayataha, Paritaha, Vina. These are the words which instigate the usage of Dvitiya Vibhakti. So Paritaha means around, Ubhayataha means on both sides, Vina means without. So on both sides, Griham Ubhayataha, Vrikshaha Santi. Okay, Krishnam Ubhayataha, Gopikaha Santi. On both sides of Krishna, there are Gopikas. On both sides of the house, there are trees. Okay, that is Ubhayataha. So the Ubhayataha, on both sides of what? Of Krishna. So here Krishna has to be in Dvitiya Vibhakti because it is used along with the word Ubhayataha. So Upapada, Upa means always, remember, we also discussed this when we were discussing the Upasargas. Upa means near. Upapada. So because Krishna is used along with Ubhayataha, Krishna will get Dvitiya Vibhakti. The word Krishna should be in Dvitiya Vibhakti. That is why these are called Upapada Vibhaktis. These Vibhaktis are used because there is a word that is triggering. So that is why they are called Upapada Vibhaktis. So here Ubhayataha Paritaha Vina. Ramam Vina Sita Aranyam Na Gachati. Okay. Ramam Vina Sita Ayodhyayam Na Vasati. She won't stay in Ayodhya without Rama. Okay. So Ubhayataha Paritaha. Paritaha is around. Griham Paritaha or Pathashalam Paritaha Kridanganam Asti. Around the school there is a playground. Like that. Paritaha is around. Ubhayataha is both sides. Okay. Abhitaha is also there. It is not given here, but Abhitaha is another word which also will trigger the usage of Dvitiya Vibhakti. So Abhitaha is like in front of. Okay. So Himalayam Abhitaha Vrikshaha Santi or Griham Abhitaha Udyanam Asti. In front of the house there is a garden. Like that. Okay. So Yagashvam Ubhayataha Lavakushau Staha. On both sides of the Yagashva, Lavakusha are there. Abhimanyum Paritaha Maharathaha Santi. Around Abhimanyu, Maharathaha are there. Bhimaha Kiritam Vina Tishtati. Bhima is standing without the crown. Okay, Kiritaha or Kirita Shabda is both Pumlinga and Napumsaka. You can use it either as a Pumlinga Shabda or as a Napumsaka Linga Shabda. But in both Shabdas, the Dvitiya Vibhakti will be Kiritam only anyways. Okay. So let us look at the sentences below. Margam Ubhayataha Vrikshaha Santi. Margam is road, like a path. On both sides of the road, Vrikshaha, trees are there. Utpitikam Ubhayataha Asandaha Santi. On both sides of the table, Asanda, chairs are there. Sharkaram Paritaha Pipilikaha Agachanti. Around the sugar, Sharkara, Akaranta Strilinga Shabdam, around the sugar, ants are coming. Okay, Pipilikaha Agachanti. The ants are coming, around and surrounding the sugar. Deepam Paritaha Prakashaha Asti. Around the lamp, there is Prakasha. Acharyam Paritaha Shishyaha Santi. Around the Acharya, the disciples were there. Jalam Vina Jivanam Na Sambhavati. Without water, life does not happen. Sainikan Vina Desha Rakshanam Na Bhavati. Without the soldiers, protection of the country is not possible. Maharajam Ubhayataha Sainikaha Chalanti. On both sides of the king, the soldiers are going. Bhavantam Paritaha Kesanti Bhavantam. This is the Bhavan. Bhavan means you with respect, right? Bhavan Kaha, who are you? That is Bhavan. Bhavan Agachatu. You come. Bhavan Tishtatu. You please stay. Like that. Okay, Bhavan. The Dvitiya Vibhakti form of Bhavan is Bhavantam. Bhavantam Paritaha Kesanti. Around you, who are there? Mam Vina Bhagini Vidyalayam Na Gachati. Without me, Aham becomes Mam in Dvitiya Vibhakti. Without me, sister does not go to school. Okay. So now let us look at the sentences given below that in exercise number 9. Rishim Ubhayataha Shishyaha Santi. Now here in the bracket we have a word. We have to use that in Dvitiya Vibhakti to complete the sentence. Ubhayataha is used. So Rishi should be in Dvitiya Vibhakti. Rishim Ubhayataha Shishyaha Santi. On both sides of the Rishi, disciples are there. Tadagaha. Tadagaha means lake. Tadagam Paritaha Sasyani Santi. Around the lake there plants or crops. We can say sasyani also can be referred to as crops. Suryaha. Suryam vina prakashaha na bhavati. Without Surya, there will be no light. Swadhyayaha vina. So Swadhyayam vina Atma Vikasaha na bhavati. Swadhyayaha means studying. Adhyayanam means to study. Swadhyayanam means to study by ourselves. But when we say studying by ourselves, it doesn't mean completely studying by yourself. There are some steps, 3 main steps that I remember right now. There might be one more step, but what it says is for somebody to learn something, what is needed is adhyayanam, adhyapanam, and one more thing is there. So basically, one is adhyayanam, to learn, adhyapanam, to teach also, and then abhyasam or acharanam, something is there, which I am unable to recollect right now. So 3 steps are there. Learning can happen only when all these 3 are followed. One is you listen from the guru. The second one is you have to do your self-study, and then you have to teach others. Adhyapanam is also needed. Otherwise, it will never sink into your body completely. That is the secret behind me conducting this class, so that I can learn. Okay. So basically, these are the 3, or there must be some 4th one, which I'm unable to remember right now. To put it into practice, I think something like that is there, which I don't remember, but that is one. So here, Swadhyayam vina Atma Vikasaha na bhavati. So only when you understand, right, whatever you're studying, it has to be completely understood and digested by us. Only then that Atma Vikasaha will happen. Otherwise, we'll simply read, we'll simply write the exam and it is over. Nothing gets into the system permanently. It won't happen. So Atma Vikasaha happens only if that Swadhyayam is done. And then Tvam. Tvam is Yushmat Shabda, right? Madhyama Purusha, Ekavachana. In Dvitiya Vibhakti, it will become Tvam. So Tvam Paritaha Balaha Santi. Around you, there are students or boys. Kulya is Akaranta Strilinga Shabda. It means a canal, okay? Like a canal. Kulyam Ubhayataha Vrikshaha Santi. On both sides of the canal, there are trees. Kulya. Udapanaha. Udapanaha means a well, like a bavi, well, which has water in it. So, Udapanam Paritaha Vritihi Asti. Vritihi is, what exactly is Vritihi? It is like a ridge kind of thing. Like how around the wall, chinna gattulaga untundi kada. I think that is what Vritihi.
Bund. Bund, Bagni, bund.
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 Which language?
To block the water. English.
Oh, okay.
B-U-N-D.
B-U-N-D.
B.
Yeah, like around the wall, there will be, around the well, there will be a small gattu. In Telugu, we say gattu, or like a small wall kind of thing, right? A very short wall. To protect animals and people from not falling into the well. I think that is what this Vritihi is. So, Udapanam Paritaha Vritihi Asti. And then Kavihi. Dvitiya Vibhakti is Kavim. Kavim Ubhayataha Shrotaraha Upavishanti. So, on both sides of the poet, Shrotaraha. Shrotaraha are those who are listening. So, a Kavi must be sharing some of his kavyas. On both sides of him, there are some listeners. Shrotaraha Upavishanti. Yodaha. So, Yodham Paritaha Shatravaha Santi. On around the Yodha, there are enemies. Shatravaha. It is used in Bahuvachana. So, Shatruhu. Ukaranta Pumlinga Shabdam. Shatravaha Bahuvachana. So, around the Yodha, there are enemies. Nasika, Akaranta Strilinga Shabdam again. Nasika means nose. Nasikam ubhayataha netre sthaha. On both sides of the nose, we have eyes. Since we have two eyes, dvivachanam is used. Netre. Netram, netre, netrani. It is a napumsakalinga shabda. Eshaha. Eshaha means this person, right? Pumlinga. Sarvanama shabda. Etad shabda. Pumlinga. Ekavachana. Prathama vibhakti, ekavachana. So in dvitiya vibhakti, it will become etam. Etam vina mitram na kridati. Without him, without this person, the friend does not play. Vishayaha. Vishayam paritaha manaha bhramati. So here Vishayaha means like materialistic things. And whenever I say materialistic things, it doesn't mean an actual thing. It can mean anything related which is not Shasvatam. Like a relation, it can be. It can be some job that also is not Shasvatam, right? And even actually things or goals which are also which are also not nityam, like not permanent. Okay, people have many goals, but those are all not Shasvatam. They might achieve that goal that will make them feel good. That is all fine. But what I mean to say is all such things are referred to as Vishaya. So that is why they say Vishaya Vanchalu. Okay, people have this Vishaya Vancha. So we have to move away from that Vishaya Vancha to be on the spiritual path. So here Vishaya means anything that is materialistic. And when I say materialistic, it doesn't mean only a physical thing. It can mean anything which is not permanent, which is not, which does not lead us to the final moksha. Okay, so that Vishayaha. So Vishayam paritaha manaha bhramati. So Vishayam paritaha. Around that Vishaya only our manas will keep going, right? Bhramati means to go around. Not only around, to go this way, that way, to just roam around. All such actions can be referred to by the Kriyapadam Bhramati. Bharata Pankajam. So, Bharata Pankajam Vina Sajjana Shat Padahana Hrisyanti. So, this is from our shloka, right? In the beginning of the lesson, beginning of the book, we have this shloka. So, what does Bharata Pankajam mean? Here, Bharata is referred to with the lotus, right? Like how around the lotus, Shatpadaha. Shatpadaha means that which has 6 feet. Here, that is the honeybee is referred to as Shatpadaha here. Okay, but in Bharata also we need such Shatpadaha. Means those Shatpadaha are none other than Sajjana. Okay, good people. So that is how. So Bharata Pankajam Vina Sajjana Shatpadaha na Hrisyanti. So without Bharata, such Sajjanas will not be there to be happy, cannot be made happy, right? So that is the usage. And then moving on to the next exercise, Koshtake Dattanam Shabdanam Adharena Vakyani Rachayata. So we have 2 columns of words. On the left hand side, we have Maharajaha, Nadi, Mata, Jihva, Sritihi. And then on the right hand side, Sachivaha, Sasyani, Balaha, Dantaha, Bhavanani. Ubhayataha is the word. So Maharajam Ubhayataha, Sachivaha Santi. Sachivaha means ministers. So on both sides of the king, there are ministers. Nadim, Ikaranta Strilinga Shabda in Dvitiya Vibhakti Nadim. Nadim Ubhayataha Sasyani Santi. So Sasyani means plants, crops, all these can be referred to as Sasyani. On both sides of the river, there are plants. And then Mata, Ubhayataha Balaha, Mataram. Mata is Prathama Ekavachana Rupam. This is Rikaranta Strilinga Shabda. In Dvitiya Vibhakti Ekavachana Mataram. Vande Mataram. Right? So here I offer my salutations to the mother. So because that action of offering salutations is happening on the mother, we put it in Dvitiya Vibhakti, Mataram. That is why Vande Mataram. So Mataram Ubhayataha Balaha Santi. On both sides of the mother, there are boys. Jihva, Akaranta Strilinga. Jihvam Ubhayataha Dantaha Santi. Jihva means tongue. On both sides of the tongue, there are teeth. Sritihi. Bhavanani. Here, Sritihi means road, like a path. So, Sritihi Ubhayataha Bhavanani Santi. On both sides of the road, there are buildings. And then we have Paritaha. And the words that we have are Mandiram, Pushpani, Dhenuhu, Yajnakundaha, Gudaha. And then Bhaktaha, Bhramaraha, Vatsaha, Rishayaha, Pipilikaha. Mandiram Paritaha Bhaktaha Santi. Around the Mandiram, there are devotees. Pushpani Paritaha Bhramaraha Santi. Bhramaraha means honeybee again. All such kind of bees will come under Bhramaraha. Why? Because it is going around. So it is called Bhramaraha. So earlier we saw the Kriya Padam Bhramati, right? So Bhramati means to go around. Since the honeybees, the job is always to go around. Even around the flower, it keeps going around. Even in the honey hive, beehive also, its job is to go around, flapping its wings and all that. So it is called Bhramaraha. So Pushpani Paritaha Bhramaraha Santi. Around the flowers, there are honeybees. Dhenum, Dhenuhu, Ukaranta Strilinga Shabdam, in Dvitiya Vibhakti Dhenum. Dhenum Paritaha Vatsaha Asti. So here Paritaha is used around and Vatsa, Ekavachanam only is used. Vatsaha Asti or Vatsaha Chalati you can say. So the calf is going around the cow. In that sense we can take. Yajna Kundaha Paritaha Rishayaha. So Yajna Kundam Paritaha Rishayaha Santi. Rishihi. Ikaranta Pumlinga in Bahuvachana Rishayaha in Prathama Vibhakti. So Yajna Kundaha means the place where that Yajna is done. Around that all the rishis are there. Gudaha. Gudaha means jaggery. Gudam Paritaha Pipilikaha Santi. Around the Guda means jaggery. Ants are there. And then Vina. Jalam, Abhyasaha, Shraddha, Sangaha, Tyagaha, Vayuhu. And then Jhashaha means fish. Mano Nigrahanam, Jnanam, Karma, Jivanam, Praninaha. Okay. So Jalam Vina, Jhashaha, what do you say? Nasti we can say, or Na Jivanti. Here he has given na jivanti.
Na jivanti.
So jalam vina jhashaha na jivanti. Abhyasam vina mano nigrahanam kartum na shakyate. So to control our manas, it is not easy. It will not happen in one day. Today we think and tomorrow we think, we try, we fail, and then we think, oh, this cannot be done, and we just give up. But if we understand that controlling manas does not happen in one day, then we won't give up. We'll try. We'll continue trying until we are able to control it. As with anything, like we have so many goals, right? To eat healthily, to spend time efficiently. We have so many such goals. But one day we try, and if we are not able to accomplish what we want to, we kind of lose interest in it and eventually give up. That should not happen. Why? Because manas is not an easy thing to control. It is not at all an easy thing to control. It runs around everywhere. So it will take some abhyasam. If we know that it takes abhyasam, and only after so much of abhyasam you will be able to control it, then you have an expectation. And only then we will actually do it, like with any other job. So say, for example, there is cleaning. You understand that it will take 2 hours to clean something. For the first 2 hours, you will not be frustrated because you know that it will take 2 hours to do that job. If it takes 4 hours or 5 hours, then you start getting frustrated. Why? Because we expected, we had an expectation that this job can be done in 2 hours. The minute we cross that 2 hours, that frustration will start building up, right? Because we had that expectation. If we didn't have that expectation, then that frustration will not come. So similarly here also, once we understand that controlling manas is not an easy thing, it will take forever. So we have to keep trying until we achieve that. Just when we think that we have achieved, the very next day we again go back. That also happens many times. So basically, abhyasam vina mano nigrahanam kartum na shakyate. This is a constant exercise, a continuous exercise, abhyasam, for mano nigrahanam. Shraddham vina jnanam na bhavati. So Shraddha means, Shraddha is like being focused, being disciplined, all those, characteristics come under Shraddha. So Akaranta Strilinga Shabda. So Shraddham vina jnanam na bhavati. Sangaha means, Sangaha means association with other people, it can be, or with Vishayaha also, we can take it based on the context. Sangam vina karma kurmaha. Okay, so we have to do karmas, whatever our duties are, without sangha, without association. Here we can take this as also attachment. Okay, sangaha means association, contact, or whatever, however, attachment. Again, it all depends on the context. Here in this context, you have to do work without sangaha, means without association, means without attachment to the work. Oh, I am doing this. Okay, today I cleaned this room. So if you are attached to it, you will get upset if it gets dirty. If somebody comes and gets it dirty, you will get upset. Why? Because you have attached yourself to that karma. No, all your job is to just clean it. Don't worry what is going to happen to that after you clean it. That is not your thing. If your mind is set like that, then you will not be disturbed. You will not get angry if somebody again dirties it or whatever. So that is sangam vina karma kurmaha. We need to do our karmas without attachment. Tyagaha. Tyagam vina jivanam na shobhate. Without tyaga, life is not at all beautiful. So occasionally we have to sacrifice certain things that we like. Only then that satisfaction comes and life becomes beautiful. Vayuhu. So ukaranta pumlinga. Vayum vina praninaha jivitum na shaknuvanti. Without vayu, living things. Praninaha means living things. Jivitum na shaknuvanti. It is not possible for living things to live without vayu. Okay, the next exercise, exercise 11. Ubhayataha paritaha anayoho ekatarasya upayogena yathodaharanam vakyani likhata. Okay, anayoho ekatarasya upayogena. So here we have ubhayataha and paritaha. Using either one of those is what it means. Using either one of those, make sentences. So devaha and bhaktaha. Devam paritaha bhaktaha santi. Bhishmaha kuru pandavaha. Would you like to try, anyone? Devesh and Mahesh? Bhishmaha and kuru pandavaha. Yes.
Bhishmaha paritaha Bhishmaha ubhaitaha kuru pandavaha santi.
Bhishmaha should be in Dvitiya Vibhakti, right?
Bhishmam ubhaitaha kuru pandavaha santi.
Bhishmam paritaha or ubhayataha kuru pandavaha santi. Uttamam. Anantaram Suchitra Bhagini Tuniram Ishu.
What is issue, ma'am?
Issue is arrows.
Okay. Tuniram Ubhayataha ishu santi.
So, but then again, Tuniram, right? Tuniram is a quiver. And issue are arrows. So normally we have arrows in the Tuniram, not around it or on both sides of it. But here,
Tuniram vina we can use. Tuniram vina
Na asti.
that is one way of looking at it. Tuniram vina issue nasti means without quiver, arrows do not exist. That also we cannot say, right? But here he specifically asked us, one second. Here he specifically asked us to use either ubhayataha or paritaha. Ubhayataha, paritaha, anayoho ekatarasya upayogena. Between these two, use one. He specifically mentioned that. So, vina, maybe we cannot use vina here. Anyways, maybe the quiver is there and somebody placed some arrows on both sides of it. Okay, we can simply look at it like that. So, tuniram ubhayataha, issue. Now, issue, right? So, if you take the issue is in Pumlinga, it is a Pumlinga Shabda. So, issue will be Dvivachanam. Issue will be Dvivachanam. So, Tuniram Ubhayataha, issue Staha, we can say. Staha. Because issue is Dvivachanam. Ekavachanam is issuhu. Dvivachanam is issue. And then Ishavaha. Like Guruhu, Guru, Guravaha. This is like Ukaranta Pumlinga Shabda. Okay. So since Dvivachanam issue is given, Staha is the Kriyapadam. Tuniram Ubhayataha, issue Staha. And then we have Suryaha.
We can even use with paritaha. We can even use the same with paritaha also. Tuniram.
Paritaha also you can use, but there are only two arrows. So Ubhayataha, I feel on both sides there is one arrow on each of the side. We can look at it like that, right?
Okay.
And then Surya, if there are so many arrows, then around there will be, we can place them around. But since there are only two arrows, Ubhayataha will be more appropriate is what I feel. But grammatically, Paritaha is also fine. Then we have Suryaha and Prakasha Valayaha. Devesh and Mahesh, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, would you like to try this sentence? Suryaha Prakasha Valayaha.
Suryam Ubhayataha Prakasha Valaha Asti.
Valayaha. Okay. So the Prakasha Valayaha, will it be only on both sides of Surya or all around Surya?
All around. So yeah. Suryam Paritaha Prakasha Valayaha Asti.
Suryam Paritaha Prakasha Valayaha Asti. Gada and Khadgaha. Pramila Bhagini?
Gadam paritaha gadgaha santi.
Khadgaha. Gada Paritaha Khadgaha Santi. Here Khadgaha, Bahuvachanam is given. So there are so many swords. So around the Gada, there are so many swords, we can say. Ubhayataha. Either here, meaning wise also, both are fine. Gadam Paritaha Khadgaha Santi. Anantaram Rajendran Mahodaya Krishnaha Gopikaha.
Amji. Krishnam Paritaha Gopikaha Santi.
Uttamam. Anantaram Vishwanath Mahodaya Yagashvaha Yodhau.
Yagaswam Paritaha Yodaha Asti.
Yodhau. Dvivachanam is given.
Yodhau Staha.
Yodhau Staha. Okay, since two Yodhas are there, we can use Ubhayataha. Ubhayataha will be a better choice. Yagashvam Ubhayataha Yodhau Staha. Uttamam. Okay. So then we have Geetopadesha Prasangaha. Okay, let us see. Etam prasangam savadhanam patata. Mahabharata yuddham nischitam asit. Yuddham kartum icchantaha kauravaha pandavaha cha Kurukshetra yuddha bhumau samavetaha abhavan. So Mahabharata yuddham nischitam asit. It has been decided that there is going to be a war. Yuddham kartum icchantaha kauravaha pandavaha cha Kurukshetra yuddha bhumau samavetaha abhavan. So to fight this war, who all are interested? The Kauravas are also interested, Pandavas are also interested. So they gathered in the Kurukshetra bhumi. Bhumau, Saptami Vibhakti, in the Kurukshetra field. So bhumihi is Ikaranta Strilinga Shabda. In Saptami Vibhakti it becomes bhumau. Samavetaha means gathered. Abhavan. Acharyaha Bhishmaha Kauravanam Senapatihi Asit. So Bhishmaha was the Senapati of the Kauravas. Kauravanam Shashti Bahuvachanam. Okay, of the Kauravas. Drupada Putraha Drishtadyumnaha Pandavanam Senapatihi Asit. So Drishtadyumnaha. Who is he? Drupadasya Putraha. He is the Senapati of Pandavas. Asankhyaha Kshatriyaha Tatra Sammilitaha Asan. So Asankhyaha Kshatriyaha means countless of Kshatriyas. They gathered there. Bhishmaha Simhanadam Kritva Shankhanadam Kritavan. So everybody has gathered. The Senapatis are there. So many soldiers, the Kshatriyas came in as soldiers. Now Bhishmaha Simhanadam Kritva Shankhanadam Kritavan. Simhanadam means he himself roars. Okay. And then he blew the conch. Shankhanadam Kritavan. Tataha Sainikaha Shankhan Bherihi Panavan Anakan Gomukhan cha Vaditavantaha. So after Bhishma blew the conch, then the soldiers, Sainikaha, Shankhan Bherihi. Bheri means a musical instrument that is used in the wars, right? That Panavan. Panavan also is a kind of, all these are instruments which make sounds. Panavan, Anakan, Gomukhan cha Vaditavantaha. Pandavaha api Shankhanadam Kritavantaha. Now all the Kauravas have made their Shabdas. Now Pandavas. Shankhanadam Kritavantaha. Arjunaha swasya rathasya sarathim Shri Krishnam uktavan. Achyuta senayoho madhye mama ratham sthapaya. So after they have blown their conches, then Arjuna spoke to Krishna, who was his charioteer. Can you please take the chariot and make it stand between the two armies? Atra yuddhartham upasthitan sarvan aham drashtum ichchami. So why did he ask to take the chariot between the armies? He would like to see who came to fight. Yuddhartham upasthitan sarvan. Those who came and stood for the sake of the war. I would like to see them. Shri Krishnaha senayoho madhye ratham sthapayitva uktavan. Partha atra samavetan sarvan kurun pashya. Okay, so he took the chariot, he stood it between the two armies, and then he asked Arjuna, okay, you can look at the army of Kuru. Arjunaha tatra pitrun pitamahan acharyan matulan bhratrun putran pautran sakhin shvashuran suhridascha drishtavan. Okay, so see, Arjunaha tatra, what did he see there? Pitrun, bahuvachana, dvitiya vibhakti bahuvachana. Okay, pita shabda, pitru shabda. Pitamahan, Ramaha. Akaranta Pumlinga Shabda in Dvitiya Vibhakti Bahuvachanam Raman. So Pitamahan, Acharyan, all these are Akaranta Pumlinga Shabda. Pitru is Pitru Shabda, Pitrun. Matulan, Bhratrun, again Bhratrun also is Rikaranta Shabda. Putran, again Akaranta Shabda like Ramaha. Pautran, Sakhin, Shvashuran, Sakhi means friends. And then Shvashuran. Shvashuran is Shvashuraha, means uncles, right? Father-in-laws actually. Shvashuraha is father-in-laws. And then Sahridascha. Sahridaha is Sahridaha is friends, okay, who have a good heart for you. They are your friends. So this Sakhin is Sakha Shabda. Okay, Sakhi Shabda. In Prathama Ekavachanam, it will become Sakha, which means friend. And in Dvitiya Vibhakti Bahuvachana, it will become Sakhin. So Sakha, Sakhayav, Sakhayah, Sakhayam, Sakhayav, Sakhin. Okay, it will appear like Strilinga Shabda, but it is actually a Pumlinga Shabda. Sakhi, Ikaranta, but it is not like Harihi Shabda. Okay, Sakha, Sakhayav, Sakhayah. Sakhayam, Sakhayav, Sakhin, Prathama and Dvitiya forms. And then Sahridascha, Sahridaha. This is not Ajanta Shabda, means it does not end in a vowel like Ramaha, Harihi, Guruhu. All these are Ajanta, means Ach Ante. If a vowel is at the end, then we call that word as Ajanta, right? Ramaha, it has Akara, Rama, A. Hari, I, Guru, U, Pitru, R. All these have vowels at the end. So these are called Ajanta, Ach, Anta. With Sandhi, Cha becomes Ja, Ajanta it will become. Those words which end in a consonant are called Halanta. Okay, Hal, Anta. Hal means consonant. So this Suhrid is a Halanta Shabda. So Suhridaha will be the Dvitiya Vibhakti Bahuvachana form of it. You will learn the Halanta Shabdas in the second book. But for now, only so that you will understand why that word is different from the others, I've just briefly told you. Don't worry if you don't remember, but just in case. So, Sahridascha Drishtavan. So, he saw all these people. Upasthitan tan sarvan bandhun drishtva Arjunaha Paramam Vishadam Praptavan. Upasthitan tan sarvan bandhun. So now let us go back one word at a time. Bandhun drishtva. Okay, bandhun means, again, this is also in Dvitiya Vibhakti Bahuvachana. Bandhuhu, Ukaranta Pumlinga Shabda. In Dvitiya Vibhakti Bahuvachanam, bandhun. Sarvan bandhun. All the relatives. Okay. Here, Sarvan is the adjective of Bandhun because it is describing the Bandhu. How many Bandhus? All the Bandhus. Okay. And then Tan Sarvan Bandhun. Those all relatives. Okay. Like that boy, these people, those girls. Here, this, that, those, these are also adjectives. Okay. So Tan also is Dvitiya Vibhakti Bahuvachana form of Saha. Saha tau te, tam tau tan, right? So tan is tad shabda, pumlinga, dvitiya vibhakti, bahuvachana. Upasthitan. Now, how are these bandhus? They are standing. Upasthitan. Okay, that is also an adjective. So, because these are all the words that are describing the bandhu, these are referred to as adjectives, and adjectives always take the same form as the noun. So, because the noun here is in Dvitiya Vibhakti Bahuvachanam, the adjectives also will be in Dvitiya Vibhakti Bahuvachanam. We'll learn that in detail in the next level, next book. Okay, but just for your understanding, briefly I told, don't worry about that. So after looking at all these relatives, all those relatives who are standing, right? Arjunaha paramam vishadam praptavan. He obtained a lot of sadness. Saha Krishna ete sarve mama bandhavaha. Etan aham marayitum na ichchami. Aham yuddham na karomi. Iti uktva banam dhanuhu cha visrijya rathe upavishtavan. Okay. So after looking at all these, he felt so much of sadness that he told Krishna, all these are my relatives. Ete sarve, all these people. Mama bandhavaha are my relatives. Okay. So here bandhavaha is different from bandhu. They both mean relative only, but there are two different shabdas. These are two different shabdas. Bandhuhu is ukaranta pumlinga shabda, whereas bandhavaha is like akaranta rama shabda. Okay, so bandhavaha. So bandhavaha ekavachanam, bandhavaha bahuvachanam. Bandhuhu is ukaranta pumlinga. Okay. Okay. Etan aham marayitum na ichchami. I don't want to kill these people. Aham yuddham na karomi. So I am not going to perform this war. Iti uktva banam dhanuhu cha visrijya rathe upavishtavan. So he left, or he threw kind of his bow and arrows, and he kind of sat in the chariot. Okay. Now here, iti uktva banam visrijya. He left his banam. It is again akaranta pumlinga shabda banaha, but it is in dvitiya vibhakti here. Dhanuhu. Dhanuhu is actually again a halanta shabda. Dhanus, sakaranta halanta shabda. So in dvitiya vibhakti it becomes dhanuhu. Okay, don't think it is ukaranta pumlinga shabda. Okay, it is dhanus, sakaranta pumlinga shabda. Visrijya, leaving the arrow and the bows, he sat. Tada Sri Krishna tasya ajnana nivaranartham Geetopadesham kritavan. Saha uktavan. So to remove his ajnana, he started Geetopadesham. Saha uktavan. Arjuna tvam achintaniyan vishayan ma chintaya. Don't think about things that you don't have to think about. Okay. Panditaha gatasun agatasun cha na anushochanti. So here gatasun agatasun means things that are not in our hands, kind of like. Okay. So panditaha. Panditaha means scholars, means wise people. They don't think about, or they don't feel sad about things that pass, which are not in their hands, right? Tvamapi shokam makuru. You also don't worry, don't feel sad. Etan sarvan ahameva purvam maritavan asmi. All these people, I have already killed them long time back. Tvam nimitta matram bhava. You are only an instrument here. Okay? You are not killing. Their death has already been declared by me long time back. So don't feel that you are killing them. You are only nimitta matra. You are only being used as an instrument. Karma karane tava adhikaraha. Natu phale. So your adhikara is only in doing your work. Don't worry about the result. Okay? You have to fight this war. In this war, who all are going to die, you don't worry about that. That is the final phalitam, right? Phala. Performing the war is only what you have to worry about. Ataha tvam phala vishaye ma chintaya karma kuru iti. So don't worry about the phala. You do your duty to the best of your shakti. That's all. Tataha Sri Krishna Arjunaya Vishwarupam Darshitavan. Anantaram, he showed his Vishwarupam. Arjunaha Divyam Chakshuhu Prapya Sri Krishnasya Dehe Sarvan Devan Bhuta Vishesha Samuhan Rishin Brahmanam Ishwaram Cha Drishtavan. So in this Vishwarupam, what all did Arjuna see? Divyam, with his Divyam Chakshu. Sarvan Devan, Bhuta Vishesha Samuhan means all the Panchabhutas also, Rishin, all the great Rishis, Brahmanam, Ishwaram cha drishtavan. Brahma and Ishwaram also he saw. Vishwarupa darshanena Arjunasya mohaha nashtaha. Arjunasya mohaha nashtaha. So his illusion is gone upon looking at this Vishwarupam. Saha jnanam praptavan. He became enlightened. Bhagavan mama sandehaha nashtaha. Aham tava vachanam karishyami. Now my doubts have all been cleared. So I am going to do whatever you ask me to do. Iti uktavan. Yuddham kartum saha sannaddaha abhavat. So he got ready to fight the war. Okay. That is the Geetopadesha Prasangaha. One thing, Vibhakti point of view, I would like to mention is, now we have studied about the Kthva Pratyayanta and Tumun Pratyayanta, right? Kthva Pratyayanta we use when two actions are done by the same Karta, then that first action will be put in Kthvanta, right? So Ramaha Pathati, Ramaha Khadati. Ramaha Pathitva Khadati. So first Rama read, studied, and then he ate. So after reading, he ate. That is what we can put it into one sentence. So Ramaha Patham Pathati. Ramaha Annam Khadati. These are two sentences. In the first sentence, Ramaha Patham Pathati. Patham is the karma padam, right? Ramaha Patham Pathati. The action of Pathati is happening on the Patham. So Patham is the karma padam. So it will be in Dvitiya Vibhakti. And then Ramaha Annam Khadati. Annam also is karma padam for Khadati. Annam is related to Khadati, whereas Patham is related to Pathati. Now if we put these two sentences together, Ramaha Patham Pathitva Annam Khadati. Right? Patham Pathitva Annam Khadati. So here Patham is still the karma padam of Pathati. Pathati became Pathitva. Why? Because we are joining the two sentences. So the Pathati Vartamana Kala Kriya Padam has become Pathitva, an avyayam. Okay? It is an indeclinable, meaning Pathitva does not change its form with Ekavachana, Bahuvachana, all this. So we call it indeclinable. But it is still a Kriya Padam, a kind of Kriya Padam. So the Patham is still the Karma Padam of Pathitva. So Patham has still should be in Dvitiya Vibhakti. Now, since I showed you the sentences separately, it is easy for you to understand that Patham should be in Dvitiya Vibhakti because you saw that as a separate sentence. Ramaha Patham Patati. So Patham, of course, it is the Karma Padam. It has to be in Dvitiya Vibhakti. But if I directly read a sentence with Tvanta, like for example, Upasthitan tan sarvan bandhun drishtva. Okay? Or bandhun, Arjunaha bandhun drishtva paramam vishadam praptavan. Okay? Bandhun drishtva. So always remember, wherever you come across the Kthvanta pratyayantas, okay? Like Pathitva, Gatva, Drishtva, all these. The karma padam associated with it, with that, the karma of that kriya padam also should be in Dvitiya Vibhakti. So here, Kan Drishtva, Bandhun Drishtva. So whom did he see? After seeing whom? After seeing his relatives. So the relatives will be the karma padam of seeing, of Drishtva. So it has to be in Dvitiya Vibhakti. That also you keep in mind. Here it is still karma padam only. It is not Upapada Vibhakti and it is not like that. It is a proper karma padam only. Okay. So the Vibhakti, the Dvitiya Vibhakti used here is not Upapada Vibhakti. It is a regular Vibhakti. It is used in the regular sense. That is what I mean to say. Okay. Similarly for Tumun also. Okay. Patham Pathitum Balakaha Granthalayam Gachati. So here, if you split the sentences, how do we get? Balakaha Granthalayam Gachati. Balakaha Patham Patati. Okay. So now we can join these two sentences either using Tvanta or using Tumun. Using Swanta, it will become Balakaha Granthalayam Gatva Pustakam or Patham Patati. Balakaha Patham Patitum Granthalayam Gachati. Okay? Patham Patitum. So Balakaha Granthalayam Gachati. Balakaha Patham Patati. Here Patham is still Karmapadam of Patati. So Patham Patitum. When the Patati becomes the Tumun Pratyayanta also, it is still a Kriya Padam. So there will be a Karma Padam associated with it. That is Patham. So with Tumun Pratyayanta, with Swanta, don't forget that they also will have Karma Padams if given in the sentence. And if it is given, then we have to put it in Dvitiya Vibhakti. That you don't forget. Okay? Many times, don't think that only a proper Kriya Padam will have Karma Padam. Even Swanta and Tumunanta also can have Karma Padam. But also remember, Karma Padam is optional. It need not be there always. It is not compulsory. But if it is there, you have to identify and put it in only Dvitiya Vibhakti. Okay. So now let us look at the Abhyasa on page number 108. We are on page number 108, the Abhyasam. Etesham prashnanam uttaram likhatha. So write the answers for these questions. Ke yuddha bhumau samavetaha. Bhavana Bhagini. Ke yuddha bhumau samavetaha.
Kauravaha Pandavaha cha Yuddha Bhumau Samaveta.
Samavetaha. Uttama. Anantaram, Suchitra Bhagini, Pandavanam Senapatihi Kaha Asit?
Pandavaha Sena.
Pandavanam Senapatihi Kaha?
Kurukshetra Yuddha Bhumau.
No. Who is the Senapati of Pandavas?
Okay. Drishtadrumna.
Drishtadhyumnaha.
Pandavanam Senapatihi.
Uttama. So Drupada Putraha Drishtadhyumnaha Pandavanam Senapatihi. Yuddhe Kati Kshatriyaha Upasthitaha Asan. Devesh and Mahesh? Yuddhe Kati Kshatriyaha Upasthitaha Asan. Are you there, Devesh and Mahesh?
Yes, ma'am.
Kati Kshatriyaha Santi. How many Kshatriyas are there in the war field?
Asankhyakan.
Asankhyaha Kshatriyaha Yuddha Bhumau Upasthitaha Asan. Okay. Drishtadhyumnaha Kasya Putraha. Ramila Bhagini. Drishtadhyumnaha Kasya Putraha.
Drishtadhyumnaha Drupada Putraha.
Drupadasya Putraha. Or you can combine it and say Drupada Putraha. If you break and give a gap, if you say Drishtadhyumnaha Drupada Putraha, if you break it like that, then you have to say Drupadasya Putraha. Or you combine it as a compound word and say Drishtadhyumnaha Drupada Putraha. Anantaram Rajendran Mahodaya, Kaha Shankhanadam Kritavan?
Shankhanadam jiva Sanganadam Kritavan.
Bhishmaha Shankhanadam Kritavan. Uttamam. Anantaram Vishwanath Mahodaya, Krishnaha Arjunam Kim Muktavan?
Krishna Arjuna.
It is there in the middle of the page, actually. Right in the middle. Partha.
Partha. Atra.
Samavetan.
Samavetan. Sarvan. Kurun.
Pashya. Atra samavetan sarvan kurun pashya. Look at all the kurus who are gathered here. Okay, Krishnaha Arjunam kimuktavan. Krishnaha Arjunam Partha Atra samavetan sarvan kurun pashya iti uktavan. Okay.
Kurun ante Kauravulu. Kurun Kauravulu.
Kurun ante Kauravulu. Yes.
Kurun prasya.
So Kuruhu, like Pandavaha. Pandavaha means any one of the 5 Pandavas. Kuruhu means any one of the 100 Kauravas.
Okay.
Who have originated from the Kuru Vamsha. So it need not be only the 100 Kauravas, it can be their father also. The Dhritarashtra can also be referred as Kuru. All who originated from the Kuru Vamsha are called Kuruhu. Okay. Then again, Bhavana Bhagini. Sarvan kaha purvameva maritavan.
कृष्णः एव एतान् सर्वान् पूर्वमेव मारितवान्.
उत्तमम्. अनन्तरं सुचित्रा भगिनी. कृष्णः किमर्थं गीतोपदेशं कृतवान्?
Krishna.
Last but one paragraph.
Okay. Krishna, Arjuna, Vishwarupa.
No. Before that paragraph.
Yes.
Before that.
Krishna, Arjuna, Agnana,
Nivaranartham.
Agnana, Nivaranartham, Geetopadesham, Krutavan.
Krishnaha Arjunasya Ajnana Nivaranartham Geetopadesham Kritavan. Anantaram, Devesh and Mahesh are not there. So Pramila Bhagini, Sainikaha Kan Vaditavantaha.
सैनिकाः शङ्कान् बेरिः पनवान् आनकान् गोमुखान् वादितवन्तः.
उत्तमम्. अर्जुनस्य मोहः कथं नष्टः राजेन्द्रन् महोदय?
आं भगिनि. विश्वरूपदर्शने अर्जुनस्य मोहः नष्टः.
उत्तमम्. अनन्तरं विश्वनाथ महोदय, श्रीकृष्णः अर्जुनाय किं दर्शितवान्? विश्वरूपं दर्शितवान्. श्रीकृष्णः अर्जुनाय विश्वरूपं दर्शितवान्. उत्तमम्.
ततः श्रीकृष्णः अर्जुनस्य विश्वरूपं दर्शितवान्.
Ikkada, when you are saying the answer, you don't have to use the word tataha. Tataha is in the story. Why? Because then. It is like then. But when we are answering this question, tataha need not be used because we are just stating this sentence separately, right? So we don't start it with the then. We simply say Krishnaha Arjunaya Vishwarupam Darshitavan. That's all. Anantaram. Can you answer the next one also? Arjunaha kimartham kauravan marayitum na ichhati. Arjunaha kimartham kauravan marayitum na ichhati. Why did he not want to kill them? Te sarve Arjunasya bandhavaha.
ये सर्वे अर्जुनस्य बान्धवाः
Te sarve Kauravaha, all those Kauravas are Arjunasya bandhavaha. Ataha Arjunaha tan marayitum na ichchati. He did not like to kill them. Like that you can say. There is no direct sentence that you can read out from the story. We have to put together a few, like in the middle of the page, the paragraph. Ete sarve mama bandhavaha. So here he is speaking to Krishna, so he spoke like that. But we are telling in third person. So we have to say, Te sarve kauravaha arjunasya bandhavaha. Ataha arjunaha tan kauravan marayitum na ichchati. Like that we can say.
Okay.
Arjunaha kan drishtavan Rajendran Mahodaya?
आम भगिनी अर्जुनः तत्र पितॄन् पितामहान् आचार्यान् मातुलान् भ्रातॄन् पुत्रान् पौत्रान् सखीन् स्वसुरान् सुहृदश्च दृष्टवान्.
Uttamam. Anantaram, next one also, can you please say? Arjunaha Krishnam Ratham Senayoho Madhye Sthapayitum Kimartham Muktavan. Why did he ask Krishna to stop the chariot in between the two armies?
आम भगिनी पार्थ अत्र सर्वं द्रष्टुं
It is at the end of the first paragraph.
अहं तव वचनं करिष्यामि.
Yuddhartham upasthitan sarvan drashtum Arjunaha ichchati. Ataha Arjunaha Krishnam vadati. Achyuta senayoho madhye mama ratham sthapaya iti. Okay? Okay. All of you, any questions? So far, any questions?
भगिनी तत्र गदासून अगदासून च तत् किम् अर्थं भवति भगिनी?
Where?
गदा
Oh, gatasun, agatasun. Okay. So here, I would say, based on the context, gatasun means those who go. And here going means not simply going somewhere, going completely from out of the world. Because gatihi is that path of going, leaving, you know, that path. So gatasun and agatasun refer to people who just leave the world. So you scholars will not become sad about that. Why the scholars? Why the wise people? Because they know that everybody has to go at some point, and it is not in our hands. So there is nothing to be done about that. We should not worry about it. Not that there is nothing to be done about it. Of course, there is nothing that we can do about it. But the main point here is what Krishna always says. Okay, do not think about the result, only do your duty. So the minute you start feeling sad about the result, then you are attached. We can understand that we are still attached. So gatasun, agatasun means those who leave and who may not leave or whatever. The wise people will not cry over it, will not feel sad about it, sad about them here rather than it about them.
Those who live are dead.
Yes.
Like that we
in simple words, you can say that. But gataha means, like gati means that path of going. That gati also, again, I think there are two gatis. Like one is, nice path, that one, like how one leaves the world. Even when we are leaving, there is a good way of leaving and not a very good way of leaving. But people who leave the world, and who do not. So the wise people will not worry about it. So they don't cry. If you see people who are more into spiritual practice, if you observe them during during times of their difficulties in their family or friends, even when they pass away, even when their family members or friends pass away, they are more composed because they know that it has to happen at some point. So they will be able to take it more strongly, because not that they don't love that person, but they have understood how to be detached to even the most loved ones in our family and friends, and even to the work that we do. So sometimes you are so attached to the work that you do. It can be even spiritual work also. Even spiritual work also, we should not be so attached to it. Like some people keep volunteering at the temples and all. They get so attached to that, right? So they get offended if somebody does not consult with them regarding something, or if something is not done the way they want. So all these will show that they are getting attached to that work. Work itself is a good work. It's nothing wrong with it. But that attachment should not be there. However good the work is, still that attachment should not be there. So even here, the scholars will not feel sad about people who are leaving the world, or whether they are leaving the world or not. Yes, we can take it in that sense.
I was confused because gachati agachati means opposite, goes and comes. But now I understand that it is gada soons, those who are dead, agada, those who are not dead.
Yes,
not
correct.
Like that.
Yes, correct.
Thank you.
Okay. So then moving on to the next page, 109. Etesham shabdanam vibhaktim vachanam cha likhata. So here words are given. We have to identify the vibhakti and the vachana. Senayoho. So example is given. Pandavanam is shashti vibhakti bahuvachanam. Pandavanam is shashti vibhakti bahuvachanam. Senayoho is Bhavana Bhagini? Or Pramila Bhagini, anyone?
Shashti vibhakti or saptami, divachanam, senayoho.
Divachanam. Here in which context is used? Senayoho ubhayoho madhye.
Saptami. Senayoho saptami.
No, Shashti.
In between.
Madhye is the saptami. Senayoho ubhayoho. In the middle of the two senas. Okay, it is used in Shashti. Okay. Yuddha bhumau. Which vibhakti and vachana is it?
Saptami dvivachan.
Ekavachanam only. Ekavachanam only. It is not dvivachanam. Bhumihi. Ikaranta strilinga shabda in saptami vibhakti bhumau. Okay. Yuddha bhumau. In the war field. War land. Vishayan. Vibhakti and vachana. Bhavana Bhagini.
Visayan. Shashti bahuvachan.
Shashti vibhakti. Kimartham? Ekavachana kim? What is the ekavachana rupam of that?
Visayeshu.
Vishayeshu will be saptami bahuvachanam. I am asking what is the prathama vibhakti ekavachana rupam of this Vishayan?
Visayasya.
Vishayaha. Vishayaha only. So the which vibhakti and vachana is it in?
Dvitiya bahuvachan.
Vishayan.
And Dvitiya bahuvachan.
Correct. Dvitiya bahuvachan. Like Raman. So Ramaha. Vishayan. So Vishayaha. Like that. Vishwarupa darshanena. Rajendran Mahodaya.
Ramena iva Tritiya ekavachanam.
Tritiya vibhakti ekavachanam. Uttamam. Anantaram Kauravanam. Vishwanath Mahodaya. Kauravanam.
Kauravanam. Dvitiya vibhakti.
Dvitiya bahuvachanam.
Dvitiya vibhakti bahuvachanam.
Whenever you get nam in Ajanta Shabdas, always remember it is Shashti Vibhakti Bahuvachanam. Ramanam, Sitanam, Gaurinam, Gurunam, Harinam, Pitrunam. No matter what the Shabda is, you will get nam in Shashti Vibhakti Bahuvachanam. So here also Kauravanam. So it is Shashti Vibhakti Bahuvachanam. Okay. Arjunaya. Only people who have attended other exams will be able to tell this. Arjunaya. Because we did not cover.
Chaturthi ekvachan.
ekavachanam pullingam akaranta.
Akaranta pumlinga shabdaha chaturthi vibhakti ekavachanam. Bhagavan.
Bhagavan prathama vibhakti ekavachanam.
Prathama vibhakti ekavachanam pumlingam. Bhagavat. This is Bhagavat. Takaranta shabdaha. In prathama ekavachana it will become Bhagavan. Rathe.
Saptami
ekavachanam pullingam.
Saptami ekavachana pullinga. What is the shabda?
Rataha.
Rataha. Like Akaranta Rama shabda. Pitrun.
Dvitiya bahuvachan.
Dvitiya bahuvachanam pumlingam.
Rukaranta pitru.
Bherihi.
Bherihi tudiya vibhakti bahuvachanam pullingam. Ikaranta hari beri shabda.
Strilingam khalu. Strilingam. Only in Strilingam you will have that long vowel and visarga. Bherihi. If it were Ikaranta Harihi Shabda, Harin, Harin it will become.
Gaurihi.
So this is Dvitiya Vibhakti Bahuvachana Strilinga Shabda. The next one is Etan Shabdan Patitva Eteshu Bhutakalarthakanam Shabdanam Purataha Checkmark Chihnam Kuruta. Bhutakalarthakanam. So words that mean Bhutakalam, that express Bhutakalam. Okay, we have to put a check mark. Otherwise, cross mark. Rajendran Mahodaya. Like Uktavan is already shown as an example. Asan. Check mark va, cross mark va.
Check mark Bhutakala Bahuvachanam.
Anantaram Kritavantaha. Rajendran Mahodaya.
Begini. Etatabi Bhutakala Bahuvachanam.
So check mark. Kuru.
Kuru nasti. Etate Bhutakala padam nasti.
Astu. Drishtam.
Drishtam abhi nasti begini. Etate Bhutakala padam nasti.
Bhutakalam eva khalu. Drishtaha drishta drishtam. Karmani prayoge. Bhutakala pratyayantaha khalu. Etad. You wrote Parichaya exam?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So there we did this kta pratyayanta, right? Patitaha patitha patitam. Like that, drishtaha drishta drishtam. These are all past participles. Means Bhutakalam only. But in Karmani prayoga. So drishtam also comes under Bhutakalam. Anantaram sthapaya. Suchitra Bhagini. Sthapaya.
Bhutakala.
Is it Bhutakalam?
Ekavachanam. Sthapaya. Sthapaya.
Is it Bhutakalam? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
No, it is lat pratyaya.
Not lat, lot. Sthapaya is lot lakara. Madhyama Purusha Ekavachana lot lakara it is. It is not Bhutakalam. If it is Bhutakalam, you remember one thing. And if it is lakara, a will be there. Yes, in Bhutakala. if it is a lakara. If it is not a lakara, if it is like the sa pratyayanta, then kritavan, uktavan, uktavantaha, kritavantaha, in that forms it will be. Okay. Sthapaya is like sthapayatu. Sthapayatu is in prathama purusha lot lakara. Sthapaya is also lot lakara but in madhyama purusha.
Okay.
Then asit. You continue, Suchitra Bhagini. Asit. Bhutakalam va nasti va?
Asit is present tense, na?
Asti is present tense. Asit is the bhutakalam of asti.
Bhutakala. Yes, bhutakala.
Then chintaya.
Like stapaya, chintaya.
Correct. So is it bhutakalam?
No. This latlak.
Lot.
Lotlak.
Latlakara means vartamana kalam. It will end in ti. The prathama purusha ekavachana will end in ti. This is lot lakara, means ordering, like order or command or request. Praptavan. Bhutakalam va nasti va? Like patitavan, likhitavan. All these are past tense or present tense?
Present
Bhutakalam. No. Bhutakalam eva. Patati is vartamana kalam, present tense. Patitavan, bhutakalam. Kritva.
I don't know, man.
It is in a way it represents bhutakala, but it is an indeclinable, so we don't want to state it as a bhutakala kriyapadam. Okay. But meaning wise,
what's the meaning?
After doing. So like I'm saying, meaning wise, we can consider it as a bhutakala kriyapadam, but it is not like a full-fledged kriyapadam. So we can just leave it like that. Then ichchami. Pramila Bhagini, ichchami.
Ichchami uttama purusha. Vartamana kala. So it is not bhutakala.
Not bhutakala. Kritavan?
Kritavan bhutakala.
Darshitavan?
Darshitavan bhutakala.
Upavishtavan?
Bhutakala.
Sthapayitva?
saMskRuti. So it is not bhutakala.
Anantaram. Bhavana Bhagini, pashya. Bhavana Bhagini? Asti va bhavati? Okay, you want to try, Suchitra?
Bhutakalam?
No, pashya. It is like sthapaya.
Tum pashya.
Lot lakara.
Lotlakara.
Lot lakara, madhyama purusha, ekavachana. Karomi.
Uttama purusha.
Uttama purusha, vartamana kala, means present tense. Karomi. Anushochati.
Madhyama purusha.
Why it is ending in ti only, no? So it is prathama purusha only. It ends in ti. So it is prathama purusha, ekavachana, vartamana kala. It is not bhutakala. Then we have asmi. It is uttama purusha, but vartamana kala, not bhutakala. Visrijya. Visrijya is lyab pratyayanta, like swa. Only if a kriya padam has a upasarga, we use lyab pratyayanta. Otherwise, we use ktvanta. Okay, so it is like that. Visrijya. It is a lyap pratyayanta. It is not a bhutakala kriyapadam, we can say. Vaditavantaha. Vishwanath Mahodaya, would you like to try? Vaditavantaha. Bhutakalam va? Ekavachana roopam is vaditavan. Bahuvachana roopam is vaditavantaha. Patitavantaha. Patitavan, patitavantaha. These are all past participles, right?
Yes, past parts.
So this is bhutakalam only. Vaditavantaha. Bhutakalam, but it is not a lakara. It is past participle. Ktvavatu pratyayanta. Abhavat. What is abhavat? Bhutakalam va? Nasti va.
Bhutakalam.
Bhutakalam. Then maritavan.
Bhutakalam.
Bhava.
Vartamanakala.
Vartamanakala. Uktva.
Twa pratyaya.
Twan pratyad. And then
कालम् अस्ति खलु द्रष्टुं कृत्वा
तुमुन्.
स्थापयित्वा एतत् तुमुन् एव आगच्छति खलु द्रष्टुं कथं तत् भूतकालं भवति
Drashtum will not become bhutakalam. Oh, that is drishtam. It is not drashtum. It is drishtam.
दृष्टं कथं तत् ज्ञातुं शक्यते भगिनि एतत् द्रष्टं वा द्रष्टुं वा पदम् अस्ति वा द्रष्टम् इति
Drishtam. It is not drashtam. It is drishtam. Drishtaha, drishta, drishtam. Like patitaha, patita, patitam.
नामपदे तत् अन्वेषणं करणीयं वा कुत्र तत् द्रष्टुं शक्यते
So we can use it like this. Say for example, chitram drashtam. Tena chitram drishtam. By him, the picture was seen. Okay. Ramena chitram drishtam. By Rama, the picture was seen. Arjunena Vishwarupam drishtam. By Arjuna, the Vishwarupam was seen. This is passive voice. Karmani prayoge, bhutakala prayoga. Bhutakala pratyayanta. This pratyayanta is called kta pratyayanta. In Parichaya lesson, it is, let me tell you which lesson also, so that you can just refer to it.
पुस्तकं मम हस्ते अस्ति इदानीं नपुंसकलिङ्गपदानि आगच्छति चेत् चित्रं वाहनं तदेव आगच्छति द्रष्टुम् आगच्छति
because it is a karmani prayoga, the kriyapadam
Bhagini padasangraha atra api asti.
Yes, in padasangraha also this form is there for all the dhatus. It is in the 6th lesson in Parichaya book. Okay, so since this is karmani prayoga kriyapadam, it will follow the karma padam, not the kartrupadam. So that is why the karma padam has to be in napumsaka, because drashtam is in napumsaka. If I say drishtaha, drishtaha, drishta, drishtam. Drishtaha is pumlinga. Arjunaha, Arjunena, Krishnaha drishtaha. By Arjuna, Krishna was seen. Ramena, Sita drishta. By Rama, Sita was seen. Because Sita strilinga, drishta strilinga. Like that. Sitaya Ramaha drishtaha.
Sitaya vanam drashtam.
Correct. Sitaya vanam drishtam. Yes. Okay, that is the tumunnanta will be drashtum. Ukaranta will come. And dra will come, ra will come. Here re is there, the rishi re is there, no, for the. So
idani drishtavan bhagini. Ruki matra atra.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Then in the fourth exercise, what is given is dvitiyantaha, shashtiyantaha, saptamyantaha. So you have to identify from the lesson all the words that are in Dvitiya Vibhakti, whether Ekavachana or Bahuvachana, which are in Shashti Vibhakti, whether Ekavachana or Bahuvachana, Saptami and Vibhakti also. Okay. So from the lesson, you do this as a homework. From the lesson, read every sentence. Mahabharata Yuddham Nischitam Asit. Yuddham kartum ichchantah kauravaha pandavaha cha Kurukshetra yuddha bhumau samavetaha abhavan. So in this sentence we have yuddham is dvitiya vibhakti. Bhumau, yuddha bhumau, that is in saptami vibhakti. Acharyah bhishmah kauravanam senapatihi asit. So kauravanam, shashti vibhakti bahuvachanam. Like this, you go through every sentence. In each sentence, if any word is in Dvitiya Vibhakti, write it under Dvitiya Vibhakti column. If it is in Shashti, under Shashti. If it is Saptami, under Saptami. Like that, you identify all the words which are in these Vibhaktis, whether Ekavachana or Bahuvachana. And do that as a homework. Okay? So we'll stop here. Shanti Mantram. Any doubts? Okay. If you don't have any doubts, can you say the Shanti Mantram, any one of you?
Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaः, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Santi Shanti Shanti. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om. Dhanyavadaha Bhagini. Subharatri.
Dhanyavadaha. Dhanyavadaha. Subharatri.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದः ಭಗಿನಿ.